All right, we are here with Luke West of Bingham High School, coming off an incredible season, an incredible career. What are some of the memories from this season specifically that are going to be with you for the rest of your life?
I mean, this season for sure, just our playoff run. I've never gotten that deep into a tournament really. Like, I've been in championships my whole life, but that one's just a little different. Having the crowd, the student sections, playing at the U, it's just kind of going to stick with me, especially because the way I played very well in that playoff run, and that's just something that I'll remember for the rest of my life for sure.
That was one of the most impressive playoff run performances that I've seen, right? I mean, your first round was against Riverton, which was formidable.
Yeah.
We did hold you to 16 points,
Yes.
But we won't talk about the final score because you could have scored 0 and you would have been fine. But take me through like that next round game. I think it was 42-11. Mm-hmm. So it seems like that was just one of those nights where the basket looks really big and everything feels really nice. Can you take me through kind of what your mindset was in that game?
Yeah, I mean, going in, we knew Mountain Ridge very well, and I hadn't had my best games against Mountain Ridge in region. Played them twice, had about 16 both times, which is kind of below my average. So I was like, they scouted me well, and then I know kind of getting those rebounds first for me was what kind of opened me up, kind of got me going to start, which usually I don't have 11 rebounds in a game, but that kind of got me going. And then, I don't know, playing on that big stage, I kind of like love that environment. So I was just kind of ready to go, and then shots kept falling, so I just kept shooting it.
I always had a little bit of a superstition in warmups where if I was making everything in warmups, I was like, oh crap, I need to shoot bad during the game.
Yeah.
Was that one of those nights too where at what point did you know this is going to be a special night, or was it just kind of you went with it and everything came with you?
Well, I mean, even we have shoot-arounds on those game days, and shots weren't really falling for me that day in the shoot-arounds and in warmups, but then game started and my first mid-range went in, and when that first shot kind of goes in at the start of a game, kind of gets you going, and it just kept going. So
that's awesome. And then you follow that up with, I think, was it 32-15 against American Fork in a comeback win? That was awesome. So how was that game different than Mountain Ridge?
I mean, in that one, I had a slow first half, and I couldn't really get myself going. It was a little different, and they're a different team. They got their two guys. They got Bryce and Jax, who kind of killed us in the first half. We got down in that third quarter. We were down 17, and I just kind of had that mentality, just like, I'm not losing this game. And kind of fourth quarter got me going. I had a big fourth and a big overtime, which helped a ton. But just going in with confidence after that halftime where I kind of struggled a little bit, but just coming back out and just knowing I can go get some.
That was awesome. And then championship game. So we were talking a little bit offline, but that was a brutal 3 days of a late game with Mountain Ridge, and then you have an overtime late game against American Fork. Do you think fatigue or anything played into that championship game at all? Like, how was your team feeling going into that championship game?
I mean, I hate making excuses, but I will say that did impact me a lot because we got home at about 1 a.m. and then I probably fell asleep around 1:45 because I had to go home, shower, get a quick bite, and then finally was able to fall asleep. And I'm waking up around 10 the next day, but my body's beat up from playing 32 minutes, and then kind of not getting a ton of sleep, ton of rest, and then having to put all my focus on Westlake and not kind of on myself, where I get my body ready, which I'm icing a ton and just got ice packs on both knees, on shoulders and stuff. So it was pretty rough kind of having back-to-back. I wish we had a day in between, but overall, adrenaline started kicking in around game time, and kind of felt a little bit better, but it definitely was an impact for sure.
What a great run, though, and it's so impressive what you were able to do, and then your team. And I think Parker was a little bit banged up as well going into a few of those games. So super awesome. So you became Bingham's all-time leading scorer against Riverton. Was that ever a goal for you? This is a question from the internet. Was setting the all-time scoring record ever a goal for you as a 10, 12-year-old Luke West, or was that something that just kind of came as you went through your career?
Well, I mean, my brother played at Bingham, and I'd go watch his games, and I even have a conversation with my dad, and he's like, you're going to be this great scorer at Bingham, whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I kind of went into my freshman year, and I never really thought about it. And then sophomore year came, and I was 3 points off. So I was 3 points away, and from then I was like, okay, I can get this, and I can beat it pretty good if I wanted to. And then junior year came around, and I got hurt. So I only played about half the season. So this season I was like, let's try to go get it. And then it came against Riverton, and it it was kind of a goal once I like figured out I was like close enough to get it, but I never originally thought about it before that.
Yeah. And then didn't Yoli reach out to you and
Yeah.
we create a video? What was that like?
Luke, the new single season scoring leader at Bingham High School. Congratulations, bro. What an amazing accomplishment.
It was cool. Yoli, I mean, you kind of like think about it. It's like just some like basketball player that like you've always like seen and watched and whatever, but you never realize like he's just like can reach out to me, and like it was a cool experience because like he's a BYU, like played great at BYU, got drafted, whatever, played with the Wizards, and like to think about like a player like that reaching out to like just a high school kid is really cool, like realization. And just like, I don't know, it's kind of crazy because you just know he's like, you just see him on the stat sheet just like as a number and a name, but then him reaching out was like really cool experience for me. So
Yeah.
it was awesome.
That's super cool. And again, with half of your junior year not even being part of that number is pretty impressive. So there's a signature move that you have developed recently, and I think it was unleashed at the 5A, 6A All-Star game, where you leap off of a defender's back and dunk it.
Yeah.
Can you take us through how you developed that, and then how do you see that coming into play in the future?
You know, that actually wasn't my idea. That was shout out Will Openshaw. He was like, we were guarding each other the whole time because we're good buddies, and he's like, dude, let's do something cool. I was like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I'm gonna get on my hands and knees. You're gonna jump off my back. So I was like, all right, if we get the chance. Then he like runs to the paint when I have the ball and gets on all fours. So I hopped off. I was like, I'm gonna get hurt or something, but it worked out. So
Nice.
Hopefully I can use that later on.
Well, I mean, we got the Iverson cross, the Jordan fadeaway. We got to figure out what to call the West leapfrog. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
what was that All-Star game like? I think it's kind of a unique environment where you're usually so competitive and you want to win, and now you do here, but a lot of that was a little bit more cleared out and having fun. So what was that environment like for you with those guys?
Yeah, it was super fun. It was fun because I had Carlo and Isaiah on my team, which are both region guys, and obviously the Westlake kids, which I don't know as well. I played against Isaiah and Carlo all growing up, but like talking with them and just joking around with them, and just like we were talking about regions next year and how like we think it's gonna go, and like just kind of connecting with a bunch of guys that I've competed against my whole life. It was really fun, and there's a bunch of cool dudes. And obviously on 5A, I played with Simeon, Dean, and Will, and just playing against them again was super fun, and just messing around with those guys is always a blast.
Nice. You guys were down big, and then you came back and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
guys won. And,
Yeah.
was that a foul? Was it you guys won on free throws?
Yeah, free throws
in
got
an
us the win.
All-Star game. Is
Oh,
impressive. Let's talk a little bit. You are so much more than a scorer, and I want to emphasize that. But you are also a great scorer. And so, from a scorer's mentality, how do you approach a game? And the reason I ask this is that as a kid, and my son deals with this, and I did as well, is I was always nervous that I didn't want to be called a ball hog. I didn't want to be shooting so much that everybody else wasn't involved.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the fact that sometimes it's okay. It's okay to shoot a shot because that is the best option. Yeah. So how have you gotten maybe over that, or how do you approach a game where it's like, okay, I need to take what is available, but also get teammates involved where I can?
Yeah, I'd say coming in like super confident. Like I know the work that I've put in, and I know what I'm good at, and I know that like some shots for me are like maybe like a contested mid-range for me isn't like necessarily a bad shot. Like I can make that consistently, but coming in confident and like knowing what I'm good at, and I wouldn't say I'm a very selfish player, but knowing what I can do and like knowing my other guys' roles and like getting them the ball when they need it, and they know when to get me the ball when I need it. So it's just kind of back and forth with my teammates. We know what shots we like and what we don't.
Are there spots on the floor that you like to get to?
I love my mid-range.
Yeah.
Like that's probably my favorite shot to get to, but I've been trying to get a little deeper three back in there that I didn't like really utilize my first 3 years. I'd say I kind of got a little deeper three back in my senior year, but my mid-range is my go-to for sure.
It's interesting because scouting you guys, the first time we were going to play you at Riverton, I had every one of your baseline out of bounds plays memorized. And I don't know what you would call them, but I know like certain handstand. I know what I knew the initial option. I knew what you guys would do off of it. And you had one baseline out of bounds play that entire game with 32 seconds left in the game. So I did all this scouting for you for this thing. But a lot of your stuff is you can post people up, you can come off of screens, you can shoot threes. So how did you develop being able to score at several different levels?
For me, just repetition, a ton of repetition, because not a lot of people have that mid-range shot. So it's like when I'd go get shots up, most people are just shooting the 3-ball, getting like finishing around the rim. But I'm always just a 1 dribble pull every single time I get to the gym. I'll rep that out a ton and just get it consistent. And I can jump shoot pretty well, so I can get off the ground where it's like hard for people to contest, which not a lot of high school kids are like used to. So I just repped that out a ton and got used to it.
What does your workout schedule look like outside of just formal basketball practice?
During the season, it's tough because I will say I'm not the biggest morning person. I have a hard time waking up before schools or whatever it is. But like since I'm a senior now, like I had gaps in my schedule. So like some of my days I start school at like 11:30, so I have a bunch of time in the morning. Some of the days I end at 10:40, so I have a bunch of time in the afternoon. So just putting in work when like in my gaps in my schedule, because I honestly hated waking up in the morning. So it was either before practice, during my school gaps, or after practice.
For the people who want to be high school basketball players, not just they want to make the team, but they want to be seniors playing varsity basketball, what are some of the sacrifices that you feel you've had to make that most people who haven't done this wouldn't realize?
I mean, the biggest thing is just like sacrificing your kind of desires. Like there's a lot of times in the summer you just want to chill, do nothing, and just like have a good 2 weeks off, which like go on like vacations are good and healthy, but like in the summer staying consistent, I think, and always finding like times to work out, whether it's early in the morning, which wasn't for me, so I'd do late at nights. Like just finding always a time to work out and get better every day.
How tuned in were you guys to the other team's scouting report for you? So I know that you guys scout other teams, but how aware were you of what the other teams were trying to, or what they were probably going to try and do against you guys?
Yeah, we definitely knew that me and Parker were a big thing on other team scouting reports, and that they'd either double us off screens or face guard us, whatever it is. So it's like we kind of approached that, and during our practice, our JV squad would kind of simulate that, and we'd kind of try to replicate what we think they might do or something like that. But also just knowing that we can just go play our game, and we have a bunch of guys, a bunch of talented kids that can go score the ball. So if they try to take us out of the game, we can find other ways to win too. So
it's my perception, I could be wrong here, but it seems like a lot of your guys' offense is let's cause chaos on defense and go get some layups. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, we love running the floor. We super high energy running the floor, getting the ball going. Like we were looking up, it was kind of midway through the season, and we had most points scored, but also most points like scored on us as well, which is just our style. Like there's a lot of points scored in our games because we don't slow the ball down, just call a set. We just kind of go and run, and that's just the way we've always liked to play.
Yeah. I mean, to give you an idea, the 2 times you played us before the state tournament, we lost both games by a combined 45 points. You had 51 transition points in those 2 games. So it was just like, if we could stop that, then we'd at least be close.
Yeah.
What are some of the other realities of high school basketball and a player's life that most wouldn't understand? So there's the time commitment, practices. What does the weight room look like? How do you get in condition to run that type of game and then play 32 minutes? Like what does that look like for you?
I mean, conditioning's a big one. Like going into the season, our tryouts are rough. It's just a bunch of running, kind of getting those kind of stragglers who aren't in shape, just kind of chipping out. But even throughout the whole season, we had some rough conditioning practices where it's just like you got to be in shape to be able to play intense on defense, because we run the floor. So we're running, play intense on defense, run the floor, just get out and go. So like conditioning was a huge one. And obviously you kind of know what you're signing up for when you're trying out, that for the time commitment. It's like every day after school you're practicing, and it's going to be a lot of time, a lot of effort and practice along with recovery after practice, which I think gets kind of overlooked, because practicing every day and having games twice a week, your body gets worn out. So you got to make sure you're taking care of your body so you're playing 100%.
How aware are you of your diet? Like, is that something that you focused on now as a high school kid, or is that something that will come later?
I mean, that's still probably gonna be a little bit better later for me. I'm not the greatest. My mom makes good meals. I usually go out to eat like after a game day, which is pretty bad. I'm not the greatest with diet, but I do drink mostly water. I don't drink a ton of soda, but it's mostly water, but diet's still working on diet for me.
Well, we had interviewed Parker Van Dyke, who's played at the U, and then Rylan Jones, who played, and that was their thing is in high school, like we could eat pizza, we could eat cheeseburgers, whatever. And then once they got to college, it was very much more regimented. So what does that transition look like from high school now to college? When did that recruitment stuff actually start happening for you? When did you start talking to college coaches?
So I started probably sophomore year. I got my first offer right after my sophomore year in that summer. So then ever since, I've just kind of on and off with a few coaches, talking, getting a few more offers. And then, but that sophomore summer was my first kind of talking to coaches.
Is that your high school coaches reaching out? Is that prospects? Like, how did those relationships happen?
Yeah, so a lot came from, I'd say, prospects is where I'm mostly getting looked at because we're going out playing some of the top teams in the country and connections. And my first offer actually came from Cal State Northridge, which was he used to be a prospects coach. So we kind of connected through there when he like reached out and called me and stuff. So that's kind of where the connection came from.
Nice. And what is like playing for prospects? How would you say that's different than a high school basketball experience?
I mean, obviously the talent levels that I'm playing. Like this last summer, I've played most of the top 50 kids in the country. Like I played against number 1 ranked recruits in the country and all of it. So it's the talent level is a lot different, and just the size of people. They're college ready, and most of the kids I'm playing against are D1, and which is a lot different than high school, where it's like you'll find a D1 player every once in a while on a team, but definitely the talent level is crazy.
How do you feel was your role different on prospects than it was on Bingham?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, because we had kids, we got Dean, we got Ike Jr., all those guys that are these high recruits going to these high D1 colleges, and I'm like, they're getting most of the looks. I'm not getting as many looks on prospects as I am for Bingham, which obviously on Bingham I'm getting most of the shots, but kind of knowing my role is like getting me playing time for prospects, because I know I have to go dog on defense. I know I have to go more facilitate an offense rather than go be like a scorer. So facilitating the offense and kind of using my like IQ for basketball is what kind of got me and helped me on the court for prospects for sure.
Does it help slow down the high school game for you? I mean, if you feel you can compete at that with that size, physicality, strength, speed, that high school slows down a bit?
Yeah, for sure. Because we also played with the 24-second shot clock in the summer. So it's like we're playing bigger, stronger, faster guys with a faster shot clock. So the speed and the physicality was a big difference going from high school to that prospect summer and then back to high school. Definitely slowed it down for me a ton.
That's cool. What do game days look like for you? Do you have any game day traditions or superstitions that happen?
I'm not very superstitious, but I wear a certain pair of glasses every time I drive to Bingham for my game day. So
Okay.
yeah, that's about it.
Like prescription glasses
No,
or sunglasses?
just some shades. Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
What's on the pregame playlist?
For us, Parker was our guy on aux, but we listen to a lot of white girl music. We're not big. We don't listen to rap. We don't do a ton of that. We all sing a ton. So we're blasting. We bring a speaker wherever we go, and we're just singing white girl music, whatever it is. And it's just we're all just
What's
kind of having
the song
fun.
that played every game?
We do play a lot of Rihanna. a little Rihanna. Disturbia by Rihanna is always playing, and Unwritten for sure is another song that we always play.
Who on the team would surprise the world with actually being a pretty decent singer?
Parker can sing,
Yeah.
and if you ask him to, he will. So if you ever see Parker, ask him to sing, and he'll burst out with whatever you want.
That's awesome. What do you admire most about your teammates?
I know, like, a lot of my team, there's just a bunch of good guys. Like, there's been a lot of teams where it's like, this guy's kind of a troublemaker, this guy has whatever, but we're just a bunch of good guys, and, like, we all, like, respect one another, and we just, like, have respect for people. We're not, like, when we go to, like, tournaments, when we went down to Vegas, we're not, like, messing around, getting in trouble. We're just pretty respectful dudes.
Yeah, that's cool. It seems like it takes a lot. So you, as the scorer, you need your teammates to kind of buy into that, right? They have to be willing to pass that off.
Yeah.
And I grew up on a team where that wasn't the case, where we didn't want to let anybody get more than 10 points. So what was it like having your teammates buy into allowing you to be creative and to kind of play your game like that?
Yeah, for sure. They've like even talked to me about it. They're like, we know you've been starting it since a freshman. Like you've been scoring the ball. You've been our leading scorer for however long. And they kind of knew that, and they knew that like when they're open, I'm gonna find them. And they're like, we fully trust each other, and I know what my guys like, and they know what I like, so that we just get the ball wherever we need it.
That's great. What is it like playing for Coach Strat?
It's fun. I mean, you definitely got to have some thick skin sometimes because he will yell at you, but it's just because he cares. And he's very intense. He's an intense coach, but he's going to get the job done, whatever he can to do, whichever that's joking around and having fun with us or getting honest and making sure we're held accountable. So he's great.
Seems like a lot of times the players know which buttons to push to kind of make the coach more angry or less.
Yeah.
So what's something that will quickly set coach off if you're doing something wrong?
Honestly, being lazy. Like if you're just not giving everything you have, because there's one thing you can't coach, and that's effort. And we always said that from the start. It's like, we're not going to coach effort. You just always have to be playing with 100% effort. So the things that'll set him off is the things he can't coach. So it's basically.
How would you describe your relationship with referees?
We love refs. So before games, we'll like talk to refs, and we're like, we got to butter the refs up, kind of get them on our side, hopefully, because during the start of the season, I'd get in foul trouble a lot, and we were like, everyone's always asking me like, what do the refs have wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know, but we kind of just mess around with how we don't love refs. But
well, your opponent, you guys foul too much, so that's that's what we got.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. We have some questions from the internet here that I want to mix in here as well. So, who are your favorite prospects teammates?
I'll shout my boys out from Tentview, Dean and Will. We were kind of a little packed. Those guys I got super close with. I played with Dean a ton, but then Will this last year was a new little addition, and I probably hang out with those guys the most outside of prospects, and became super close with those guys.
Nice. This is from Landon Cummings, not counting Coach Straatman. Who was a coach at Bingham that you'll miss the most?
I mean, Landon, of course, because he used to coach, but definitely McMullen. I got super close with McMullen. He's our JV coach, and he's just a great guy. I've took his classes at Bingham here, and I'm going to miss him for sure.
What does it mean to be a dunk bro? Sneaker dunks, not slam dunks.
Yeah, that was also became freshman year with me and Landon. I would always wear these. I had these blue Nike Dunks, and they're like a dark and a light blue kind of mix. And then he had some blue ones that kind of match. So then we always called each other like our dunk bros. Like, he's my dunk bro. So just kind of a shoe nickname thing.
Nice. Speaking of shoes, Kai Broadhead, he plays for Harriman. What are the best basketball shoes?
I mean, I loved Kyrie's, but ever since I never got his Antas, but his Nike Kyrie's. But this year for sure, I wore a ton of Sabrina 2s. Those have been my favorite for sure the last 2 years probably.
Who were your leaders and coaches who helped you the most besides your cool dad? I'm not sure who submitted that one.
I mean, I don't know who said that, but Brady Bowman for sure. He coached me when I was like in second grade all the way up to high school, and he actually was the reason why. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I did get held back in 8th grade. I did that twice, and he brought that up for like different opportunities for me, and he coached me throughout my whole literally life. So Brady Bowman for sure.
Why the number 2?
I've always liked single digit numbers. There's not a huge reason. I actually wanted number 1, but we never had a number 1 jersey. But my brother also wore number 2 in high school. So it just kind of worked, and I just liked single digits. So.
Nice. What was your dream school or college growing up?
I mean, basketball-wise, it's always one of those blue blood schools. So the Dukes, North Carolinas are always the Kentuckys. But I never really had like a dream school. I was just kind of always just wanting to play in college, wherever that was.
Do you have a opinion on the GOAT debate?
Yes, LeBron. I'm a LeBron guy, and probably every time we warm up before practice, it somehow got brought up because we got Denzel on our team. We'll argue for his life that LeBron's the GOAT, and everyone else is Jordan. So there's probably over 100 arguments this season about Jordan and LeBron.
That's awesome. Is it more fun dunking on somebody or hitting a game winner?
Game winner, probably. I had a few people that I've been able to dunk on, not a ton of opportunities, but game winner for sure.
What are your top 3 off the court basketball memories from this year?
Off the court, definitely the bus rides. We had our big speaker and we're blasting a lot of post game bus rides. We'd blast a bunch of Spanish music and just none of us were really knowing what it was saying, but we just kind of all dance and just try to sing whatever it was saying. But bus rides for sure. Going down to Vegas was super fun this year. We went around Christmas. So we did like a cool white elephant gift exchange and then went mini golfing down in Vegas. And then post-practice locker rooms, we would stay in there for literally probably close to an hour so many times just talking, playing games. So those are probably my top 3.
That's awesome. What do you feel like you need to improve to be more effective or the most effective you can be at the college level?
I mean, everyone always says the physicality is huge. So right now I'm just trying to get in the weight room, get a lot bigger, stronger, and be able to play more physically. So that's, I think, the biggest jump from high school to college is how much bigger and stronger those guys are. So that's what I'm trying to work towards right now.
Nice. Have you played with different basketballs at these tournaments as you travel around, or is it pretty much always the Evo NXT?
No, yeah. So prospects used to be Adidas, so we'd play with an Adidas ball, and I hated that thing. The grooves were way too deep, and it was horrible. But then this last time we played with a Nike ball, which I actually didn't mind, but Evo is my favorite to play with for sure.
Okay. Yeah, you're too young, but what the Evo used to be, so it was a darker NCAA. That was
the red one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was my favorite. Couple questions about you outside of basketball. So what do you like outside of basketball? What do you enjoy?
I mean, recently, now that it's getting warm, I've been playing some pickleball. Right. Hopefully going golfing tomorrow, which not great at, but it's kind of a fun little hobby. So just kind of being outside. I love being outside.
What is a sport that you're sneaky good at that people wouldn't realize?
I almost said bowling, which I'm not good at, but sneaky good at. I would say, like, I'm not like sneaky great at a ton of sports, but I'm just like solid. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty good at pickleball, I'd say, which I'd say is sneaky good.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it always basketball?
I played football. Okay. I played tackle for about 3 years, and then hated practice. So I was like, I'm done.
Nice.
So
nice. What is the thing you're going to miss most about high school basketball?
I think just kind of the connection of like going to school with like all your buddies, and then they come to your games, and then you're playing with all your friends that you grew up with. So it's like I'm playing with my buddies that just live down the street, and then all my friends are coming to my games who I'm hanging out with. So it's just kind of the connection of high school and all that.
This is kind of the question we wrap things up on. So if you had a time machine and you can go back and visit with your freshman self for 30 minutes, what advice would you give yourself?
I'd say just enjoy every moment, because there's not a lot of kids who had my opportunity. I honestly, since a ton of kids from 2026 played varsity as a freshman, I thought it was pretty normal, but it's kind of a cool opportunity that I had, that I got to play with 4 different teams with a bunch of different people, just enjoying every second and just making those memories with all my different teammates.
That's awesome. Well, you're a stud, and I look forward to what your future holds. I know at least one of the schools you're seriously considering. I know very well. So whatever the future holds for you, I'm excited for you, and we'll be excited to follow you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Luke.